I was an only child for almost 8 years. I don't know why I've said that, but I was an only child for that amount of time. And what drove me to this field was this deep, intense interest in death investigations. Death of anything was interesting to me. I know it was really weird, creepy. You know, my family was like, looking at my mother like, what did you give birth to? As in, what's wrong with that child? But I found it interesting. And then, of course, as I got older, I noticed people who die. It's sad, and there's loss, there's mourning, there's grieving, there's unfairness sometimes, or carelessness attached. So like if someone is hit by a vehicle because maybe the pedestrian just ran across the road without checking, or a person is drunk and rams into people and causes death, these kinds of different aspects became very interesting to me. Suicide also became interesting to me, and so I decided to find out what kind of career deals with the dead, because I think that's where I want to be. And then, of course, at some point I found out where City Mortuary is, and I was like, can we go there? No, everyone was like, no. Everyone is so scared of the dead. And so it's from that early on that I became very interested. And I even thought of, I was like, okay, police women and police officers are always at the scene. Maybe I should be that. Of course, I was talked out of it. I don't understand why, but eventually I discovered that the person who always deals with the dead, and to ascertain the kind of things I wanted to know, establish the cause of death, how can it be stopped, that is a forensic pathologist. And that requires becoming a doctor first, and then specializing in forensics. And so when I discovered I have to do all that, at first I just was like, oh, forget it, that's just too much work. I didn't really like school that much, but I did school and I did well. But at first I wrote it off, but then with time I ended up just agreeing to do it. My mom talked me into it, and so I did medicine. And then I was sent to work in the forensic and pathology services, and I thought, wow, I can't believe my dream is coming to pass. I was so excited, like I was over the moon. So the first day I was told, go to City Morgue. That's where you'll go, and you'll go with your senior colleagues. I was like, yes, finally, this is it. This is where I was supposed to be. So I worked there for almost 3 years. Under supervision, of course, and it was a really interesting experience. Of course, there's the downsides of everything, but overall, I enjoyed my work. Then I was deployed to the the police surgery. A police surgeon is a forensic medical doctor. It's a doctor who works with the living, injured, to collect information that the police will need for the investigations and for prosecution. That's, in a nutshell, that's what I do. And so now I moved from dealing with the dead to the living. And with the living, no one ever talks about the living injured. So it was really shocking. I was completely confused, I won't lie. The first day I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know how to deal with this. So, but I had started doing my master's in forensics, and so I just quickly retrieved all my information that I had and began to apply the knowledge immediately. By like the second day I was applying information, and it became very interesting to learn that there's a very big gap when it comes to dealing with those who are alive and living through the pain of the injury that they have sustained, emotionally and physically and mentally.
To help people every day, not with in-flight meals, movies, tea, coffee, but to navigate the worst day of their lives.
Yes, there's a lot of bias. There's lots of discrimination, especially when you appear to be younger. You're young, you're female, you're a mother. I find that's not something that people want to deal with, and it's especially difficult as a working mother. That is something that I found extremely challenging to kind of balance and get others to in the office, people don't care that you're a mother. That's the honest truth. Most of the time it's like, fine, you sort out your issues at home, you come and you work. And I mean, fine, it's an understandable expectation, but sometimes it's a bit unrealistic because a mother's priority is her children. So but besides that, there's this notion that there's this, you know, the way people address you, like you're a small girl, like you have nothing important to say, you take minutes and serve tea. That actually happens. I remember the first time it happened to me, I was like, oh my God, you mean this actually happens? You want me to serve tea? But I learned from a certain mentor recently, more recently than in the past, that, you know, if it will get you favor, then just do it. You'll grow slowly and people will begin to see the value you bring to the table. So I found I had to validate myself, you know, and be happy with me and set my own criteria for success, because I'll never make the others happy. And that is not how I should determine whether I'm achieving goals or not, whether I'm making impact or not. I had to find it from within. You have to be confident, and the thing with that is you'll now be called arrogant, but it's okay. Don't think about what people say. You just have to be confident within yourself. Find someone who can be your compass, you know, sort of like your mentor, who can guide you through the corporate world in terms of how you communicate with men, with women, how do you appear to others. You know, you have to dress a certain way, you have to speak a certain way, you have to behave a certain way if you want to be taken seriously. And there are things you have to do, like your own research. You have to go above and beyond what is required many times if you need to be taken seriously. But at the end of the day, what you must have is a clear understanding of your purpose. You must know why you're on this earth. What is it you're supposed to be doing? Where is your destiny? And are you walking in your destiny's path, or are you away from it? Because if you're away, you'll never be at peace. Never. I find people are so distressed until their 40s. They still don't know what they're supposed to be doing. So you're in constant conflict with yourself. So take time to understand what it is you're supposed to be doing. What are your strengths? What do you like? What do you not like? What troubles you at night? What is it that you see that makes you want to change it? What is it that wakes up a fire within you? All these kinds of questions to understand more about yourself. You need to know who you are.
Every woman, every man, and every child should live a violence-free life.
I love teaching. I really enjoy sharing information, and it makes me so happy. I love being able to teach in whatever platform like this, or in a classroom, in a theater, whatever it is, online. I enjoy educating people on things to do with, you know, violence, abuse, just the normal anatomy, even teaching women about their bodies, because women and men about the bodies and how our bodies respond to certain things. So some other highlights include when I see the fruit of all this information sharing, for example, and like a time came when one of the officers, because what would happen is maybe an officer will bring a victim or a suspect, and I'll try and guide them on what needs to be done. You need to find the clothes, you need to make sure they are kept properly, you need to write the name and take them from this place to the lab, and this is what they will do, and this is what you should expect. And then they call back maybe a year later and say, you know, we secured a conviction. Thank you so much for sharing this information, you know. So when you hear that a conviction was secured, and using science, because I promote science for justice, that is like a big win for us. And then another thing is when we manage to work together, because this forensics is very teamwork oriented. You can't do anything on your own. You might as well just pack your bags and go home. And for me right now, the biggest one is that we are currently in the process of reviewing a police document, or a forensic medical document that has, you know, it's long overdue. This review is long overdue, and hopefully that we're hoping that this is going to be approved, and we'll soon see a new document that can assist in gathering more information and informing the courts, and hoping that it will lead to a fair judicial outcome. So that's really exciting for us right now. Women need to support each other. We have only ourselves, you know. We understand our dynamics, we understand our problems, we understand we understand what it's like to be a woman in this world. No one else can except a woman. And that's why when you're in a position where you can help someone or a group of people, you absolutely must take that opportunity to do so. It would be a complete waste of such a position if you're not helping those who are not below you but who are less able to access the kind of assistance that you can give them. This frustrates me quite a bit because we do see there are very many, like I've said, there are numerous gaps in the system that we work in that affect the public. And we can see this, but we can't reach the people who are able to make the changes we need. Yet there are those who are in a position to reach those people for you, but they don't. And this is very frustrating because all you have to do is such a small thing to make this massive change in the country.
Mother Teresa once said, "Don't worry about the numbers. Start with the person right next to you, and you, and you."
Dare to be different. It's nice being different. You don't have to follow the crowd. You can be different, you can be unique, you can set your own path, you can, there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to be like everyone else. Why should you refuse to fly with the eagles when you have such an opportunity? It doesn't make any sense. Just own your space and do what you know deep down you need to be doing, and forget the negative noise. Just focus on those who are going to support you to get to where you know you're supposed to be. And if you're not sure, reach out and ask. Don't be quiet and rubbish ideas just because you're not sure about it. If you're not sure, do your homework. Get online, do some research, find people doing what you're doing. I'm sure there are other people. Look for people like me, I don't mind, or other mentors, join a mentorship program. You have to find ways to understand yourself better and know what it is you need to do to get to where you need to be. So I would encourage any woman to do whatever it is she feels in her heart that she's supposed to be doing that is going to promote social justice and social good. For the young women who want to dare to be different, or even if you want to do what others are doing, just do what it is you feel you should be doing. It doesn't have to be a big different thing. But at the end of the day, you need to make sure that it's what you want to do. Live your life. You don't want to wake up at 40 and you're like, oh my gosh, I've been doing the wrong thing. I've been pleasing my mother, pleasing my husband, pleasing everyone but yourself. You need to live for you. And nothing good comes easy. Absolutely not. Nothing good comes easy. Some people may make something look easy, but it's not. Believe me, it's not. You have to be willing to put in the hard work, and for a sustained period of time. You have to be patient. Before you can harvest, you have to be patient. Yeah.